technicalities of it, and we'll try to keep it as simple as possible. So, yes, keeping that in mind, let's see what we have in store for us today. So, first and foremost, you should always know why is automation required. And then we will move on to what is automation exactly. Further, we will look at the process of trading and then automation in trading. Finally, we'll try to come up with a simple rule-based strategy and how to automate that or backtest that strategy without trying to do encoding. Let's see how that will be done further. So, first and foremost, why is automation required? Now, as a human, you are limited by your brain. You have only certain a number of assets which you can track regularly. But with automation, you can look at 100 or even thousands of assets in parallel and see how they are doing with a simple automating the system. Further, once you are once you think that okay, this is a good time to enter a trade when in respect to any asset or something, you'll always take some time to analyze and place the order, right? But with automation, you can, if you have automated the system based on a simple rule, once that rule is satisfied, the system automatically places the order. So there's no time lag. You know that sometimes you feel, okay, this asset is trending and it is going up. You should enter the trade now. By the time you place the order, it must have gone up a few points for that matter. Right. But with automation, once that rule has been satisfied, it automatically fires the order and the order is placed. So in that way, automation is beneficial. Further, it reduces an error while automation and it avoids emotion driven trading. Now, when it comes to errors, it is mostly like how when you're placing an order, you will double check whether the asset is correct, whether the price you are, or for that matter, the type of order which you're placing is correct. And if it is a limit order, the price is correct or not. By the time you make sure everything is done and you place that order, valuable time has gone, right? So in that way, it avoids error because it is an automated system. It simplifies the order as it is. And there can be times when you look at the market and you feel like placing an order just due to a gut instinct. Well, gut instincts can be good, but a majority of the times there is no logic to it, and you might be on the wrong side of the trade when you're trading based on emotions. So with automation, that part is removed. So yeah, this is a simple points which you can take in favor of automation. Now let's see what is automation exactly. Now, before we look at automation, think about it. If you have to go up 4 flights of stairs, you can either walk or take an escalator or an elevator, right? Unless you're a fitness enthusiast, most of us would pick the escalator. It's better, right? In that way, it makes the job easier. Similarly, automation, you will say that it is not necessary, but it can free up your time as well as other resources to concentrate on something different or trying to come up with a better trading strategy for that matter. So, in that way, automation is there. Now, let's go to the definition. This is the only part where I will talk about a theoretical definition, so bear with me, people. So, according to Wikipedia, automation describes a wide range of technologies that reduce human intervention in processes. I'll just highlight reduce human intervention. Why I did this? All right, I'll tell you. It is a simple fact. Whenever people think about automation, they think of robots and they think of automating tasks which will render the human part redundant. Like there will be no humans left to do anything. That is partly true, but the human part is not completely eliminated. Even when you have a sophisticated automated trading system, you still have to go back to it regularly and see how it is doing. You still have to analyze its performance. And there's a simple fact there could be an unexpected event which might lead to a different performance. So you'll have to look at it and pivot and maybe relook your trading strategy for that matter. So I hate to break it to you people, but you cannot just automate a trading strategy and then just go on a vacation forgetting everything about it. You will have to look at the system's performance regularly and see how it is doing. But that being said, it reduces human intervention. So it doesn't, so you can focus on something else, or you can focus on more number of assets, something which you wouldn't have tried if you were doing it manually. So, yes, that is what is automation. Now, since this session is on automated trading and we have cleared up a few things of automation, let's move on to the second part of this of these two words, the process of trading. Now, depending on the resource which you're looking at, you will have different processes or different steps. Me, I like to keep things simple. So I've just kept three steps in trading. Let's see what these are. So first is obviously you need to have data, right? Before you make any decision, even something simple as going to a destination, you will think about how far it is, how much time it takes, what is the traffic like over there, and if you are living in a congested city, like at what time should you leave so that you get there earliest? So there are various factors even for a simple decision of getting to a destination. And all, this decision can be taken with the help of data. Similarly, whenever you are thinking of trading, you need to have data. And this data can be financial data, like fundamental data of an asset or a company, or if you're looking at options, then option chains, or even for that matter, news, if you are thinking of sentiment-based trading. So, yeah, depending on what you want to trade, there can be different types of data. And to get data, you can go to third party resources, websites like Google Finance, Yahoo Finance, or even your broker who supplies you this data. So, yeah, that is the first step. You get data, you clean the data as we call it to make sure the data is proper. And then you move on to the next step, which is somewhat the major step when it comes to trading, the analysis part. Now, this analysis can be rule-based. Now, you can look at technical indicators such as moving averages. You can look at RSI, Bollinger Bands, or whichever you feel is great and which works in your favor. You can look at different technical indicators, and depending on the rules, you can think about taking that decision. Or it can even be discretionary, which if it works in your favor, then that is awesome for you. So yeah, depending on how you're doing it, you can analyze the data in that format. And finally, the final part, which consists of the most action, if you can say that way, the execution of trade. Now, when you call execution, you think about buying or selling that asset, right? But apart from that, you can also, or you should rather, look at the take profit and stop loss levels as well whenever you're placing an order. Now, this was for a long. If you are going short, then it will be short and borrowing. So, depending on what kind of a trader you are, you will execute that trade. So, yeah, in a gist or in summary, these are the three steps when it comes to trading. Right. Now, you can automate everything or you can automate part of it. Right. So, simply put, you can get data, you can use some coding or script, you can run it and you'll get historical data of your favorite asset. If you want, you can go to these resources like Google Finance or Yahoo Finance for that matter, download the historical data. But the interesting thing about here, about Google Finance, is that it has smartly integrated the Google Finance API into Google Sheet. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's see it in action. So yeah, this is a simple spreadsheet or a Google Sheet as we call it. And you can see over here a simple three words written: Google Finance, Tesla, and price. That is it. If you want to know the current price of Tesla, you just have to write equal to Google Finance and what we call parameters, the ticker symbol of Tesla, which is TSLA, and the price. So you get the current price of Tesla. All right, this is obviously the markets haven't opened, so this is the price. Now, this is just the current price, and you might be wondering, well, not much information over there. You are right, actually. So if you want historical data of a year for that matter, you can pass a few more parameters. Again, like we said, we had Tesla price. Then we have the start date. Here it is 1st January 2019. And then the last date or the end date, as we call it, 31st December 2019. Now, what is this daily part? This daily part is obviously the daily close price. Once you have put this, you will get the data of the entire year without doing anything, without doing much actually. So, yeah, in this way, you can see the close price. And if you think that, okay, the close price is great, but I want something more, I want everything. I want the open, high, low, close, and the volume price of it. Well, worry not, my friend. We have that as well. So, yes, instead of price, you just have to write all and you get this data. Now, it is pretty simple actually. Instead of Tesla, if you had written Microsoft for that matter, and you had pressed enter, you would have got that data. So in this way, you have simply extracted the data which you wanted. And you can then go through it how you want it. Now, Google Sheet is like an Excel sheet. You can even create a price graph of it and see how it is. Or if you are interested in doing a few calculations, maybe like create your own indicator or even your moving average, you can simply do it over here. Take the percentage change for that matter. So, yes, in this way, you have done something simple such as retrieving data. You can even retrieve data, let's say till 2022 for that matter. And let me just do till 31st Feb. So yeah, you can see that we have got till Feb, right? So in this way, you have retrieved the data. Even analysis for that matter, you can simply put it over here. You can write the percentage change, a simple formula. If you want the daily change, you can do that as well. And you can get that and you can analyze that itself. So this is how you have automated the part. Now, let's move on to the next part. So finally, we have something for you guys. We will try to see how we can backtest or we can try out the strategy and see its performance on past data. Now here I have used the RSI indicator value. RSI is relative strength index, and to give you a brief, it has a value between 0 and 100. And depending on the value, you can enter or exit a trade. Now, let's see what the rule is for that. So, first is obviously calculating the RSI value. Now, I wouldn't go too much into that because it's a simple mathematical formula which you can put it in your Google sheet or the Excel sheet for that matter, and you'll get the RSI value. Or you can use a web resource like TradingView for that matter, and you can see it. You can also apply it on your broker provided data for that matter. So yeah, we won't focus on the calculation part, but we'll focus on what it will tell you. Now, if the RSI value is less than 30, and that would be a different action. And if the RSI value is between 30 and 70, you take a different action. And if it is more than 70, it is different. Now, when the RSI is less than 30, it means that a lot of people have sold that asset, which makes the price attractive for you. And it is at a good value. So you would buy that asset when it is less than 30. When it is between 30 and 70, it means that it is at a decent price point and you don't have to do anything. So if you have already bought the asset, you would hold on to the shares and you won't do anything. So there'll be no position over here. If you have not bought any asset, you don't have to do anything over here. And now we move on to the third part, when the RSI value is more than 70. At that point, you would think that people have bought the asset, like pushing the price level very high. At that point, you would think this is a good time to exit the trade and you would sell that asset. So, in that way, you have created certain rules based on the technical indicator. Here, we have used the RSI indicator. So, just to recap, if you have bought, if the RSI level is less than 30, you would buy. If it is between 30 and 70, you would not take any position. And if it is more than 70, then you would sell the asset. So these are simple rules which you can follow. Now, to check the effectiveness, we will try to automate the backtesting part of it to check the effectiveness on past data. Let's see how that looks like. So here we have something called as visual programming, and I have basically filled in everything, and I will like to take you through it for some time. So remember, this is an extension of the rules which we had formulated just a few minutes back. So For this strategy, we are using US equities. So this is the data set. Now, this platform is Blue Shift provided by QuantInsti. Like it is free to use. You can backtest, you can paper trade, you can also go live uh, if you feel the backtesting results are incredible. So everything is there from start to end. You can do this in Blue Shift, but that is not the point. We are looking at visual programming where we have tried not to show you any coding for that matter. So first we take the data set, which is US equities. You can see here set long only is false because if it goes above 70, we are selling it, which is somewhat like short the asset. So we have kept that as false. And we have defined the universe. You can see the universe here contains, well, really incredible companies for that matter: Google, Facebook, Tesla, and Microsoft. I know Facebook is also there. Yes. So, yeah, apart from that, now once you have kept the assets, now for the sake of this demonstration, I have just kept four. You can obviously increase or decrease the number of assets you want in your portfolio. I have kept the trading frequency to 30, which means that how frequent it will be run. And here we have used the RSI indicator, which will run at minute frequency. Now, as we have seen over here, we have set the short condition when the RSI indicator is above 70. So here it is, if it goes above 70, you are shorting the asset, or if you have already bought the asset, you're selling the asset. And whereas if it is below 30, you are going long, which means you're buying the asset. And we have set the size, wherein size refers to the units as 200. Now, how frequently you want the system to take the trade, that is frequency, every trade frequency, which is 30. And here we have set some conditions. We have said that if the long condition is true, which means that the indicator 1 or RSI is less than 30, we want to buy the asset, right? Which is long. So if this condition is true, then you will order or you'll place the order. So it is by unit. So we are placing 200 units order basically, and the target is at the price level. Similarly, if the short condition is true, you will sell the asset. Here, the minus sign refers to selling it. Otherwise, we do nothing, which was the condition between 30 and 70. So, in that way, you have set everything, a few rules, and you have now set up your trading strategy, which is the analysis part. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I have already run the backtest and we'll see the result over here. Now you can see over here, the data set is US equities. We have taken the start date as 1st Jan 2020 till 1st September 2020, and the capital is 1 lakh. And this is the price, or rather the portfolio returns. You had started with 100K and you have ended up on August 28th for that matter with 114K, which is a return of 14%. Not bad, I think. And you also get the Sharpe ratio, which is 1.22, which is good. And the maximum drawdown is minus 13%. Here, the maximum drawdown means that from one point, what is the maximum your portfolio fell to, which means that if at one point it was at 100K, it would fall by 13%, or it could fall to 87,000 for that matter. So maximum drawdown can be useful if you are very risk averse and you don't want to take too much risk. So a minus 13% means at one point you are ready to accept a 13% shortfall in your portfolio. So this is how you have backtested it and you have automated it to see how the performance is. Simple, right? So once you have done this and you feel that, okay, this is great, I want to go live. Well, obviously, you do not go live directly. You try paper trading. Now, paper trading is something wherein you're using real-time data, but you're not exactly using your real money. Now, while in backtesting, you have used the past data, right? Which you have used a capital of 100K to get certain returns. But you will feel that, okay, this is the past. The scenario has changed now. We are in a different world right now with the conflict around the corner, right? So you want to understand how it is in the real world in real time. So you will do something called as backtesting. And with that, you will first paper trade. You will use virtual money and you will see how it is going for, let's say, a few weeks. And once you feel that, okay, the paper trading performance is great and awesome, and I want to go through with it, you can go live finally. So it is a simple press of a button, and you have to click a few things, which I can show you here. You will have different settings, such as setting the capital. Then you will select the broker. Here, I've selected Alpaca as the paper trading, but depending on your geography, you will have a different choice. So here I have kept the capital as 100K, the same as my backtesting capital. And here the end date is for paper trading, it is a Friday of the week. So here it is 18. Once you continue, you will get an order confirmation mode wherein you can either choose auto execution, which is truly automating your strategy, which you just click and then it is done. You just sit back and see how it goes. Or you can have one click where you have control over the strategy and you will always get alerts like this condition has been fulfilled for this asset. Would you like to go forward with it? So there you will have to give a confirmation. So there it is one click also. Then you select certain or you accept certain terms and conditions. And then finally, you will review and you will confirm. Once that is done, your trading strategy has been put on the live markets and you have truly started automating your trading strategy. Of course, like I said, it doesn't end there. You have to go through it again after a certain period and see how well it is performing. And like I said before, you should first try paper trading for a certain period to see how it is working on real-time data and then move forward with live trading. But obviously, the live trading part is different. We have already done a few sessions on live trading using Blue Shift, iBridge PY, other trading platforms as well. So we won't cover that in this session, but you're always free to go to our QuantInsti YouTube channel and you can get these sessions there and you can see how I won't say simple, but how it is not as difficult as you think when it comes to automating your trading strategy. So, yes, this is it. We have finished our presentation, and now we can go through the Q&A session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we are here to answer them.
Wow, thank you so much for a wonderful presentation, Rekit. I think you have explained everything in the simplest way possible to our entire audience. And I see there are a lot of questions already, and I have already flagged a few for you. And
Okay.
now we'll start off with the Q&A session, and I will request everyone to share their questions and just ask those questions, and we'll try to answer as many as questions possible. And
Right.
by the time you guys are putting in those questions and we are reviewing them, I just wanted to share an update, and that is about our Pi Day sale. So on 14th of this month, we were celebrating Pi Day this year, and we are celebrating this week-long sale where we are offering flat 70% off on all our contra courses. And if you are serious about learning algorithmic trading, do not miss this offer. And in case you decide to enroll in all the contra courses at once, you can also get an additional 25% off on the current offer. So please do not miss this offer. It's not that every day you get such amazing discount for such amazing content. So feel free to make use of that. I have already shared a link of that in the chat, so you can avail that. And now I think we can move on to the questions and answer sessions. So, Rikit, I have flagged a few. Do you want to go through them and pick one of them, or how do we do it?
Sure, I can pick a few. Like the one of the interesting one is, do all brokers offer API for automated trading? I live in Singapore, and which broker offers API for automated trading? So it is not all brokers would offer an API, but uh, apart from Singapore, you can look at iBridge PY, which is a sort of a bridge for interactive brokers. And interactive brokers, for that matter, uh, is a broker platform which is available in approximately everywhere. And it can be used for someone who is in Singapore or in US for that matter. And you can use iBridge PY to automate your trades for that matter. We have a simple course on Contra, which explains exactly that. How do you do that? So, yes, that is there. I hope that answers your question. So, yeah, that is one. Apart from that, can we get data from platform like Binance? Yes, you can. If you're talking about the way I did in Google Sheets, you will have to check if it supports that, but all brokers provide that. So yeah, that is it. And someone has asked, can we also get data for NSE stocks? So NSE stocks is yes, but you'll have to look up the appropriate ticker symbol. And if Google Finance does not have it, you can use Yahoo Finance for that matter. And just like the way we did in Google Sheets, you can do the same in Python for that matter. It is a simple 3, 4 lines of code, and you will get the historical data of any NSE stock for that matter. But then, yeah, I tried to do it without Python, so that is why I did not go through that process. But yes, you can get data for NSE stocks as well. So someone has asked, can you please tell how to get minute level? Now this is interesting. Uh, so if you think about it, daily data is freely available from a lot of resources. But when it comes to the minute level, suddenly the data requirement becomes high, right? So you have 6 hours of trading data for just one day, more than 6 hours, obviously. And couple that, if you want to go for the past 10 years, the data requirement becomes high. And that is why not a lot of people provide minute level data for free. The word over here is for free. But yes, you do get minute level data from various resources. You can open an account with a broker, or you can open an account with interactive brokers. You will get that minute level data as well. But obviously, you'll have to pay a certain amount for it. And depending on your geography and the broker which you have chosen, you will have to pay a different amount. For Google Finance, right now, they do not provide minute level data. It is mostly daily and weekly for that matter. So I hope that answered your question. So the someone has asked, could you please define the trade frequency function a bit more? It is based on how frequently you want to trade. So it could be depending on daily. So it could be like you can trade daily or on a minute level as well, as long as your condition is fulfilled. Uh, so Blue Shift has good documentation on their website. I didn't want to bore everyone with the details of it. That is why I had a brief overview of the whole program. But obviously, you can go through the documentation which is there on the website and to understand it in more detail. It also has a playlist on how to create your own simple trading strategy as well. So, yeah, that is there. Uh, Someone has written the blue shift looks like Scratch program. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the Scratch program, but if you are talking about a platform which uses block-based programming, then yes. Uh, but I would just like to clarify over here, you can do visual programming the way I showed it, or you can also code if you are an experienced programmer and you know the programming language Python in this respect. So you can do that as well on Blueshift, and you can backtest your strategy, research, and further you can go paper trade and also live trade for that matter. So it is not a simple research-based platform. You can also live trade using Blueshift. So someone has rightly pointed out there was no stop loss in your strategy. Yes, there was no stop loss in my strategy, which sort of contradicted my own point. But yes, I wanted to keep it simple, and that is why I didn't show the whole section on how to create the stop loss and, for that matter, the take profit level. But yes, when you are doing it on your own, please keep a stop loss level, something which you are comfortable with. It can be in percentage terms or an absolute value. Ideally, you keep it in percentage terms. Uh, the stop loss level will depend on your level of risk taking ability, and it can be different from for different people. Uh, Interestingly, stop loss uh, setting a stop loss can be a whole different session in itself. Like you can have different stop loss for different types of assets. Now, if you know a certain asset is not that volatile, which does not go down that low, so you can have a very low stop loss level for that one. But if you have something like Tesla, which fluctuates quite a bit, your stop loss level should be a bit on the higher side so that it doesn't, so that your asset, once you have entered the trade, it doesn't hit your stop loss level and you exit without making any profit for that matter. So yeah, there should be a stop loss level. So another person has rightly pointed out, are there any ideal value for alpha and beta for getting profit? So depending on you, there can be different values. Now, me, for if you ask me on a subjective level, I might tell you that, okay, I'm looking for 10% profit for that matter. But then that is me. And you should also ask, okay, but what is the time frame for it? So obviously you can get 10% in 1 month for an asset which is trending, or it can take you 10 years for an asset which is mean reverting and doesn't change much. So it depends on you on how you want to set your take profit level, and depending on that, you can have your alpha and beta for that matter. So another person has asked us that once we create the no code version, does Blue Shift convert this to Pi code and show us? Not at this moment, but we might try at a later level. But as of now, no. And can you build an option strategy with this block coding? So for now, we don't have the options data set, but do not worry, we are bringing that very soon to you. So once we have the data, you can proceed to build an options based strategy as well. So someone has asked, do you also have provision to trade in Indian market? Yes, you can trade in the Indian markets. We have partnered with various brokers. One of them is in India itself, so you can do that as well. So this is an interesting question. I will just tell you the whole question and then I'll try to answer it. How often would you monitor your strategy? Every day, every second day? It's just to consider for how long one should have patience if things are going in the wrong direction. So it depends on you. Ideally, you do not monitor it every hour for that matter, but you can have a practice of looking at your trades every day for that, and you can see how the automated system has taken the trades. You can look at the performance. You can have various performance measures, right? You can have the returns, the Sharpe ratio, the maximum drawdown for that matter. And depending on how you feel is satisfactory, if things are going well, you can continue monitoring your strategy in that manner. Uh, Ideally, or I won't say ideally, there can be times when some unexpected news occurs and there is a sharp correction in the market. So at that point, you might have to be vigilant. Now, whether you should stop trading altogether or you should continue with it, that depends on the strategy which you have created and how much uh, volatility it can withstand. So it depends on you actually how uh, you want to take it, or how long you should have patience if things are going in the wrong direction. So this is interesting. Is automation available via QuantInsti for Indian markets? So you should understand that Blue Shift is a platform wherein you can research. By research, I mean analyze or backtest your strategy, and then you can paper trade or live trade. But when it comes to live trading, QuantInsti is not the institution which is trading. We have partnered with various brokers who are providing you that facility. So when you say is automation available, yes, but QuantInsti is not the institution which is doing that. QuantInsti is an educational institution which aims to educate the learner on automated or algorithmic trading for that matter. But we are not a trading platform as such. So someone has written, so what has been explained is more like rule based, right? To set trading based on quantitative indicator threshold. Yes. So ideally, you should have certain rules when you're trading. Why do you need rules? It is simple. If you have certain rules, then you can go forward and test it in the market, whether those rules work or not. Now, how do you test it in the market? You're actually backtesting your trading rule. This is where the part comes in, backtesting your trading strategy. So backtesting always happens on certain rules. Now, these can be rules based on technical indicators, which we saw just now, or it can be something more complicated, like building a statistical model wherein you take in uh, different input features and you try to formulate a strategy based on it. Even machine learning, for that matter, can be applied in the trading domain. And QuantInsti Blue Shift does support machine learning based trading strategies. So with machine learning, it is a altogether different topic and it might take more than a few sessions to explain how it does it. But yes, you can use machine learning as well in trading. So what the entire scenario is, you take certain rules or your trading idea, you build a trading strategy on these rules, and then you move on to using the data on the market to check whether it works or not. Now, obviously, how are you going to do it in the market? You take past data and see how it is working. But then, obviously, past data is not always the same, right? Past data does not tell you how the future will be like. So that is why we have certain thing called as paper trading, where you try that strategy on present data and see how it is working. Paper trading is simply the same as trading, except you're using virtual money for it. And once you're satisfied with paper trading, then you move on to live trading. So yes, in that this is a process. It I'm sure you might be thinking, okay, that is a long process, but I believe that in the long run, it will be a good thing to do compared to trading based on emotions. So interestingly, someone has asked, can I use auto trading on my mobile phone? Cause I'm a beginner. So far, mobile-based platforms are not as feature-rich as a web-based platform. And further, like if you have a certain program called as Trader Workstation, or you might know about MetaTrader, these are considerably more, have more features compared to a web-based version. So in that manner, on a mobile phone, it will be difficult. But if you look at it, automated trading, uh, it might come to your mobile phone sooner than you think because everything is moving towards mobile and we are becoming more cloud-based in that manner. So it will come to you very soon. Till then, just hold on, hang on there, and try out other platforms which you feel are good. And don't worry about this that you are a beginner or something like that. You can start off small and you can build your way up with by learning more about something. We have various contra courses as well. And then moving on to, or for that matter, you can take small trades and see how it is, how they are working. If it is in your favor, you can move on to more. But the idea is be confident and have a trading rule or a trading strategy in place before you move on to live trading. So, does Blue Shift support Indian brokers? So, we are looking at onboarding different brokers. You will see a lot more brokers in the time to come. Currently, Master Trust is there.
And also interactive brokers. That is also there.
Right.
So yeah. So sorry to interrupt, Rickit. I think
Okay.
see we are continuously getting a lot of questions, and if you can just answer the ones that I have flagged, because there are so
Okay.
many common
Sure.
questions that we are continuously getting. I have flagged the
Right.
most popular questions, like the ones that are a much detailed one. So I think it won't be possible for us to answer all of them, but we can try and answer like in next 5 minutes as many of them possible. So there are a lot of questions that are coming about options trading. Is it possible to do this in options trading? That is there. And then there are a lot of questions about blue shift and how it can, is it free or not. So I just wanted to share with everyone that blue shift is completely free. And what is blue shift? So blue shift is or learning, backtesting, and trading platform. All of this in one. And as Rekit already mentioned, we have a few limited number of brokers right now, and we are in process of onboarding more members, more brokers on our platform. But right now, this platform is freely available, so you may want to access this. I'll just drop in the link for the Blue Shift, so you can sign up for free and try it out. And there were also a lot of questions how it is different from zero das streak and all of that. So I would recommend that you sign up on this platform, you check it out yourself, the kind of control that you have on the things that you want to develop. There were also a lot of questions on about if this visual programming can be converted into proper Python code. Yes, that is also possible. So that is also there in Blue Shift. You can also check that out. So these were some of the common questions that I wanted to address before we go ahead. So yeah, Rikit, now I think you can meanwhile pick any of these questions, and it would be really amazing if you can just say the name who is asking the question, because that will really help us.
I think you have answered the important questions yourself, Kshitij. Okay. But yeah, sure. So interestingly, Amit has asked, is it possible to auto trade Bitcoin using any platform. Um, So there are two parts to this question. First of all, not all brokers support automated trading. Like someone has said, Zerodha for Indian audiences, Zerodha is a popular broker and a trading platform over here. It also has its own API. It will support automated trading, but Zerodha right now does not have cryptocurrencies for that. So you'll have to check the platform itself, whether it supports or not. You can see that there are various crypto exchanges like BitBNS which allow you to trade, but with respect to automated trading, they are coming up with this feature soon. But then it is hard to tell you which platforms support automated trading of cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin for that matter. But yes, the industry is moving towards automated trading. A majority of orders placed on the stock exchanges are uh, based off of automated trading systems in the US, in India too. So yes, that is there as well. So apart from that, can Blue Shift be used to trade in Nifty futures? So far, Blue Shift is has data sets uh, on equities. On by While I say equities, it is US and Indian equities. We also have data on crypto, which was recently launched, as well as we have certain forex pairs, not all of them, but certain forex pairs. We are working towards getting data on options and futures as well in the future. So, yeah, hold on, sit tight. We will obviously inform you when we have options and futures data available and when you can create your own options trading strategy on Blue Shift. So yes, that is there. And yeah, interesting question by Valentine. He said, I'm wondering if we could combine ML, NLU, DL, and AI in algo trading. So yes, you can actually combine machine learning, neural networks, and uh, AI as well. And you can use it in algo trading. The process is somewhat different. In terms of machine learning, obviously, you're going to train and test the data on the ML model. Once that once the ML model is performing satisfactorily, which can be different for different people. Some people think an accuracy score should be very high, but some people are satisfied with a lower accuracy score as well. Some would look at precision and the F1 score as well. So, based on that, once you are satisfied with it, you can use the prediction or the predicted output, and you can use that for algo trading as well. We have certain courses on machine learning on Quantra. You can check them out as well, Valentine, and see if it satisfies your uh, curiosity, and you can buy that course or like take a preview of the course and see if it is working or it is helping you create your own strategy and also algo trading for that matter. So yeah.
Uh, okay, so Brikit, we are just running out of time, and
Oh, okay.
questions are just keep pouring in. So we'll just pick
Right.
last two questions, and I would allow. So I have shortlisted these two. So this one is by Ramakrishna. So Ramakrishna asked a very interesting question, and that is, can working professionals use automated trading as they cannot continuously focus on screen?
So the answer is yes, but with an asterisk above. Why I say asterisk is because you'll have to, uh, excuse me for a moment. Yeah. So you might have to put in a few hours every day creating your strategy. But once your backtesting part is done, once you're satisfied with the performance of your strategy, you can automate that strategy and let it run. But obviously, when I say the asterisk part, it means that you have to periodically review the performance of the automated system because however awesome your automated system is, however incredible the returns you're getting, the scenario can change. The scenario in 2020 was different than the scenario now in 2022. So, what was working earlier might not work now. It might start working again in the future. So, that is why I say you should periodically go through your system's performance and see how it is going, and then accordingly take the decision on how to modify your strategy. But to answer the question, yes, a working professional can, and it is doable to automate your trading strategy. In fact, to learn and automate your trading strategy as well. So, yes.
Thank you so much, Rickit, for answering that one. And a follow-up question, and this is the last one, and that is by Mervin Chu. So Mervin asks, in algo trading, must we learn a Python to get started?
So, interesting question. In fact, I might digress a bit over here and say that there are certain trading platforms, or for that matter, certain AI-based startups, which promise you that you do not have to learn Python or any programming language for that matter to create your own algo trading strategy. It is possible to do that, but there is a difference between uh, knowing how to drive a car and actually sitting there and going through the whole experience of that, okay, you're pressing the accelerator and then it moves so fast in that way. So you can create your trading strategy without learning Python with the help of various platforms. Uh, Even what you saw right now, you can create a simple trading strategy without any coding for that matter. Yes. But then if you want to fine tune your trading strategy, or if you want to try out something more uh, advanced level, you might have to learn Python or a programming language for that matter. There are various other alternatives as well. You can obviously rent a coder for that matter, where you can do that as well. You can use Blue Shift, the visual programming feature as well to do that. But yeah, you can do that. Learning Python can be an added advantage for you, and you will find that Python is not exactly as difficult as people think it is. It is more of an English language, but with certain syntaxes. So, yeah, that is it. In fact, we have our own course, Python for Trading. You can take a look at it, Python for Trading Basic. It is a free course. Uh, Go through it, see how it is, and how comfortable you are with Python from it. I mean, it is free, so you have got nothing to lose, right? So, yeah, that's the answer.
Thank you so much, Rickit. Mervin, I hope the question is answered now. So, yeah, so again, I would like to wrap this up, and we have extended to almost 10 minutes now. And by saying that, I just want to thank Rickit. Thank you so much, Rickit, for taking out your time and delivering such a wonderful presentation and answering so many of these questions. And I still
No
see that a lot
problem.
of questions are continuously coming in. And I just want to tell everyone that in case your question is not answered, make sure that you ask those questions in the survey that you are going to get right after this webinar is closed. So ask those questions. We will make sure that all of your questions are answered. And on top of that, again, I will remind that this 70% flat discount that you are getting is not every day that you get. So please make sure that you are making the most out of it. And if you enroll in all the courses at once, you are going to get additional 25%. So make the best out of this limited time offer. And with that said, I would like to thank everyone for joining us here today. And thanks for all the love and support that you guys are providing me. uh, we are planning to conduct and continue conducting such webinars, and I would love to hear from all of you what next webinar topic you would love to attend. Is there a topic that you want to attend or learn? Please suggest those topics in the survey. That will help me plan much better sessions for you, which are more relevant, and that way we'll try to uh, help, try to create awareness as much as around in this algorithmic trading and automated trading ecosystem. So with that said, thank you again, and again a very happy Holi to everyone in India and those who are celebrating across the globe this festival of colors. And with that said, thank you so much, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Kshitij, and thank you all for attending this session. Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ricky. Bye bye.